I've come to two conclusions after watching the films that I'm going to be talking about in this video. One, you know you have stepped in for something special when you clock in that you have had a perpetual smile throughout the running minutes of the movie. And two, the Malayalam audience and their celebration of content, irrespective of the presence or absence of stars, cannot be matched by any other state. Let me first talk about the Malayalam movie that I saw this week titled Eco, directed by Dinjit Ayatan, the same man responsible for the exceptionally detailed and effective Kishkinda Kadam that released last year. I went in with absolutely knowing nothing about the film other than the fact that it is from the makers of a film that I celebrated and loved last year. The film is made on a budget of just 5 crores and is being showered with love in the state of Kerala. What's the most fascinating about the love shown by the audience is that it is in the same weekend that there is a Prithviraj Sukumaran starrer that is also released, but because of it being dragged for its content, it has seen a severe dip in collections, whereas Eco, the underdog in the face-off, is seeing an upward trend. Another indication of the fact that star faces associated with projects will have little to no impact if the content does not click with the audience. Some may think that this is an anomaly, but this year seems to scream the victory of these smaller films, especially if you were to notice the celebration of a small Gujarati film like Lalo 2, something that may make the big production companies self-reflect and change gears also. Eco, with a running time of 2 hours and 7 minutes, has been written by Bahul Ramesh and is set in the misty hills of Kattukunnu. A house that is placed deep within the jungles is guarded by dogs, and in it resides a Malaysian woman who has been a part of the village for decades. The house help, Sandeep Pradeep, playing the role of Piyus, aids the old woman, doing all the household chores, while also observing the chatter around the escapades of the previous patriarch of the house, Kuriachan, who has been missing for years. What follows is the several investigations of what happened prior to Kuriachan's disappearance, how the Malaysian woman finds herself in Kerala, and the significance of the guard dogs and Piyus specifically, their loyalties and intentions. The film from the onset, I have to tell you, is beautifully shot. Cinematographer Bahul Ramesh transports us to these dense jungles, the hills covered with these grey clouds through most of the running time, allowing the perfect setting even for an investigative thriller, creating an eerie atmosphere and mystery around the characters who have a past and many secrets to keep. The cogwheel of mountains, the intertwining narrow lanes, the several possibilities of what may be on the other side. I have to confess, I was intrigued from the word go. A character notices a dog simply observing him, presenting us on how there possibly may not be a better judge of character than a dog. You already start creating connotations of where their loyalties may lie, their instinct also being indicators to who you can trust as a viewer. The film through this tale also provides us a compelling and heartbreaking commentary on control and ownership that beautifully peels like the layers of an onion, keeping you guessing, wondering, which I think is a boon and a curse for a movie like this. And I'll tell you my only 2 stumbling blocks with this movie. This may be a point of contention, and I know this is going to be a fight in the comment section, so I'll just say it. I don't think the casting of Saurabh Sachdev as Kuriachan really worked for this film, and I know this is blasphemous to say because half of Mumbai takes acting workshops from this man, but there are some mannerisms and tics of Saurabh Sachdev, something that you will see in movies like Animal 2, where simple grounded moments are almost given this exaggerated tone that it seems misplaced in the scene. I think the dubbing also came as a stumbling block in trying to connect with his mysterious presence. I understand why he may have been cast, for there is a certain quality about his body language and look specifically that can keep the audience always guessing about his real intentions, but it just did not work for me personally. Lastly, when your movie is extremely dependent on the ultimate reveal in the movie being the clincher, being the magic reveal like abracadabra, and it is left for the climax, for the audience to have this eureka moment, it really has to be so exceptional, so mind-blowing that it makes the journey worthwhile. While I think the makers of Eco do this extremely well, I think it does fall short of Kishkinda Kadam and how the storyline invested us emotionally in the tale in a way more immersive manner in that 2024 film. It is a huge risk to really depend on the climax twist to be your home run, and I think because the movie had so many moving elements investigating the matter in the small town, it wasn't as emotionally immersive as I would have liked. Sandeep Pradeep, I think, is having a spectacular year as an actor. We constantly speak about there being being a lack of young leading men in Indian cinema, and I think him and Naslin really are leading the charge for Malayalam cinema. He has a confident presence and a range that especially becomes as clear as day through this film. Diana Momin as the elder Malaysian woman is also brilliant. Her observations of her surroundings, her hesitance in trusting anyone, and her dubbing by KPAC Leela specifically is seamless and so effective. The film especially takes beautiful shape in the second half, slowly and steadily making me edge towards the screen, wondering what may possibly these characters find, only for my jaw to drop with the ultimate reveal. Most importantly, I feel like it's such an interesting story, it's such a celebration of the small underdog film, and it boasts of such a talented cast that I personally also paper over the cracks of the journey being slightly tough to get immersed in. I realized when I assessed the film initially that I judged it in context to the hype associated with it. While I think some of the unanimous praise was excessive, it unknowingly creates a preconceived notion within you to be absolutely blown away. It already creates a bias of expectation that is bound to be not met, versus for people who went in with a clean slate and simply got immersed and invested. A competent, well shot and effectively edited Malayalam thriller nonetheless. Moving on to the film that I absolutely loved this weekend, I have to speak about Gustaakh Ishq. I don't think the major YouTube reviewers will really cover this gem. This is a movie that is backed by Manish Malhotra as a producer and is exactly the answer of the old school and simple charm we were missing in Hindi cinema. It does not have stars, it does not boast of the toxicity and love that seems to be celebrated across the board in Hindi cinema right now. It has a stillness and poetry that we seek for not only in films but in life, and it truly broke my heart as I witnessed this magic unfold in an empty theatre. I serve this as an antidote for you in the chaos of today. I genuinely believe this is a journey and tale that is ideal for us today, where we are overwhelmed by the violence, misery and despair that is not only the reality of our surroundings but seems to percolate in art and culture too. Set in the 90s in the narrow lanes of Daryaganj, Nawabuddin Saifuddin Rahman, played by Vijay Varma, is dealing with business distress as his Urdu printing press has nothing of substance to produce that will help it spike its revenue. His younger brother suggests provocative literature, but Vijay seeks for something of substance. This aspiration leads him to seek for Aziz Beg, played by Naseeruddin Shah, a poet residing in Punjab who never published his work. Appearing under the guise of learning Shairi from the veteran, Vijay hopes to eventually convince him to publish his work. This tale of spending time with one another while riffing Shairi and the organic nature with which Vijay gets drawn towards Aziz's daughter Minnie, played by Fatima Sana Sheikh, forms the basic premise of one of the most beautiful experiences I have had in theatres lately. The film has a brisk running time of 2 hours and 8 minutes, and it's honestly a breeze. It is an ode to old Delhi and its charm, beautifully described कि दिल्ली ऐसी जगह है जिसकी रूह और बदबू में भी मोहब्बत है. The dialogues written by director Vibhu Puri and Prashant Jha will truly make you swoon. I found myself alone in the theatre saying wah as if I was in some Jugalbandi or live performance, as the characters seem to just beautifully drop one exceptionally beautiful line after the other. The production design by Madhumata Sen and Ajay Sharma and the cinematography by Manush Nandan is a feast for the eyes. A time machine truly of a simpler time where our cities had a charm and our interactions with people made us feel present, versus the constant anxiety of today where we feel like we're missing out on some elusive goal to achieve. I mean, the technical team is outstanding. The music composed by Vishal Bhardwaj with the lyrics of Gulzar really made this tale poetry in motion. Ul Jalul Ishq Hai and specifically Aap Dhoop Mein is what I associate with classic romantic films, or what plays immediately when you reminisce about someone special. The costumes are impeccably designed by Shivang Kapoor. In instances, I was just looking at the shawls worn by Vijay Varma, already taking notes for the upcoming Shadi season. The old world charm and nature of the romance is conveyed through the small details of interactions with the opposite sex in the public eye being also done with a distance. As Vijay inquires about Aziz Beg with his daughter played by Fatima, they have little to no eye contact, sitting on separate seats in a bus. It's the momentary glances that draws one to each other, the subtle acts of kindness that makes them fond of each other. It's a romance where everything meant something versus the desensitization of today. Loafer ho ya shayar, हुलिये से नहीं पर नजरिए से पता चलता है. The film is a beautiful commentary also on where art should stem from, not from what others are doing, but what is deeply personal. Not what is the state of commercial cinema today, where stories echo what is popular, but not what is personal and authentic to the creator. It also provides us a glimpse of the dilemma for an artist. Is art something that deserves to be commercialized for the entertainment of strangers, or is it created for who you choose to share it with? Does art lose its magic when it's available on the streets and corners for a mere few paisas? Does the monetary value of art dampen its depth? Or does it become the prerogative for the artist to make something compelling accessible? वो शायरी क्या जिससे अव्वल होने के लिए बाजार के मुहूर्त की जरूरत पड़े? The film may be reflective of a time we don't recognize today, but its dialogues are laced with truth that is so relevant to the hollow nature of art today. When exploring what may be the source of such intense emotions in one's writing, Vijay and Naseeruddin Shah discuss heartbreak. It brings the age-old notion of whether heartbreak is necessary to write something beautiful and aching. And Shah replies, आईना और दिल टूटने के लिए ही तो बने हैं. Also further in the movie stating, हर जख्म भरा नहीं जाता, या तो जख्म खत्म हो जाते हैं या जख्म देने वाले. It had me sobbing. I couldn't help but feel like Vijay Varma's dream is coming true while sharing so much screen time with an institution like Naseeruddin Shah. How he may be pinching himself for the sheer amount of time he was spending with him. When Shah is impressed after days with one of his shairis narrated by Vijay, he gives him his pen. He is giddy with joy. And I couldn't help but feel like it was also like a baton being passed to a credible talent of this generation too. There is a scene where Vijay progressively breaks in spirit as he makes his younger brother remember their childhood days. It's masterfully done. The last time I felt this moved by poetry was when I saw Onir's Kuch Bhige Alfaz in 2018. When the storylines connects the dots of what may be a deeper connection between the characters, it genuinely comes together beautifully. The reason for Fatima's hesitance in trusting someone, the bond between the mentor and student, and the ultimate tussle between an artist's work and his perception with the public, often only reaching fruition or being celebrated once they have left the world. The cast is absolutely brilliant. Naseeruddin Shah, his stubbornness, his ego oddly balanced with his magnanimity and grace, Vijay Varma's charm and Fatima's subtlety all come together beautifully to tell a tale that I wanted to actually stay with a little longer. Its conclusion actually seems rushed versus something that could have been built better than a time jump that just came across as lazy. The criticism is warranted on how the emotions feel like a breeze but never reach its heartbreaking highs that you wished for, making these two films truly the underdogs that I believe deserve the support versus the mess that is being backed and pushed by big production companies. And that was a video, guys. Write down in the comments below what you thought about Eco and Gustaakh Ishq. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram. The handle is right in front of you. Follow me at JammyPants4. Also, please support us by smashing the like button and subscribing to our channel for weekly content ahead. Thank you for watching.